What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the debt ceiling, which has to be raised sometime in October, or the US government will default and literally run out of money for the first time ever in the United States history, and the potential government shutdown that will happen on September 30th at midnight if Congress does not pass a bill to avert a government shutdown, which is looking more and more likely. We're going to hear from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell on why the Republicans are going to vote to let the government shut down and to let the government default. We're going to hear from Mitch McConnell on why the Republicans are going to let that happen. We're also going to hear from Democratic leader, progressive leader, leader of the Progressive Caucus, Pramila Jayapal, in this episode on why the Democrats are going to be voting against the bipartisan physical infrastructure bill on tomorrow and why that bill might fail as well. Yeah. It's getting absolutely crazy here, guys. We're going to have two votes tomorrow. A vote in the Senate on the combined bill for the government shutdown bill and the debt limit ceiling bill. And the Republicans are going to vote against that. The Republicans are going to vote to let the government shut down and to let the government default. Kid you not, we're going to hear from Mitch McConnell on that. And there's also a vote in the House of Representatives that is scheduled for tomorrow. And the Democrats, the progressive Democrats, are apparently going to vote against that as well because they want the stimulus package to pass first. And they think if the stimulus package does not pass before the physical infrastructure package, that then the stimulus package could be put in jeopardy, and then that makes it less likely for the $3.5 trillion stimulus package to pass. So that if the physical infrastructure package gets passed before the stimulus package, that makes it less likely for the stimulus package to be passed in its entirety. And the progressive Democrats are making it so that they want to see the $3.5 trillion stimulus package pass first. Yeah, so we're going to be going over all this. We're going to be hearing from the Republicans, from the Democrats, a lot here on this channel. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. I'll keep you up to date on all these issues: the stimulus package, the government shutdown, the debt ceiling, money, investing, and what's going on with our economy. It's completely free to subscribe. New videos come out on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, I will have a special guest appearance for you guys at the end of this video. So make sure to watch all the way to the end for our special guest appearance. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for a special guest appearance, so there will be one at the end of this video. So make sure to watch all the way to the end. So also, don't forget to hit the like button for us. It really helps out our channel. And without further ado, here is Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's been in the hot seat, and he says why the Republicans are potentially going to vote tomorrow to let the government default for the first time ever, to not raise the debt ceiling. Remember that the government is going to run out of money sometime in October. Right now, the government is using a reserve emergency account. So picture the government right now is using a emergency bank account that had $450 billion in it, because they were supposed to pass a new debt limit ceiling on August 1st, and they didn't. And the House of Representatives passed a bill that is now moving to the Senate. The problem is not a single Republican voted yes on that bill. That bill now moves to the Senate, which is expected to be voted on tomorrow, on Monday. In fact, if you're watching this on Monday, it'll be today. So the problem is we need 10 Republicans to vote yes on this. We need 60 votes in total. So 50 Democrats and at least 10 Republicans. But we didn't get a single Republican to vote yes on that bill in the House. So we need 60 votes in the Senate out of 100 senators. And if we don't get any Republicans to vote yes on it, it'll fail. We didn't get any Republicans out of the House. Out of 212 Republicans, not a single one of them voted yes. This is a combined bill to prevent a government shutdown, which will happen on September 30th at midnight, and to prevent a government default where the government will literally run out of money if they don't raise the debt ceiling, which they need to do to prevent a default and to prevent the government from running out of money. They need to do this just to pay the debt on all of the government's debt, or to pay the interest on the debt alone, and to fund anything further on the government, and to pay all the interest on the debt and everything. Anything that the government has to do with funding, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, the military, school systems, literally anything, child tax credit payments, anything that has to do with government funding could potentially be at risk sometime in October if the government runs out of money with this emergency reserve account that they are currently whittling away day by day. It had $450 billion in it on August 1st, and now it will run out of money sometime in early to mid October. Estimates say that it will run out of money around October 15th, but it could be early. It could be October 10th, could be October 8th, October 9th, October 15th. So here's why Mitch McConnell says that all the Republicans, or most Republicans, are going to vote to let the government default and to let the government shut down. Check this out. I like how he starts off that speech by saying, America has never defaulted and America never will, but not a single Republican is going to vote to prevent it from happening. Let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. So if that vote happens tomorrow in the Senate and not a single Republican votes to prevent this from happening, basically the Republicans vote to let the government default and to let the government shut down, which are two different things. A government shutdown on September 30th at midnight, and a government default where the government will literally run out of money and default on its debt obligations, its interest obligations, paying its debt, basically going bankrupt and not being able to pay its debt obligations. All those things and a government shutdown, two different things there. It would be so much easier if the Republicans would just vote yes and they could do this. Remember, they raised the debt limit ceiling 3 times in 4 years underneath former President Donald Trump. They've raised it like 60 times in the last 80 years. Again, they have to do this every 1 to 2 years, depending on how often they raise it and how often they come to agreements. And apparently the Republicans are saying that they're going to just force the Democrats to do this on their own through the reconciliation process, the stimulus package. But we have key Democrats like House Budget Committee Chairman John Yarmuth, who's saying that the Democrats lack the time to raise the debt limit ceiling on their own, or it's going to be very, very close. So the question is are we prepared to potentially let the government default, or have it be a 50-50 chance on whether or not the Democrats can do this on their own? Do we want to put a 50-50 chance on the government potentially defaulting on whether or not the Democrats can pass the stimulus package in time, or a 50-50 chance on whether the government will default, or if the Democrats can pass the stimulus package on their own in time or not? That's quite a risk to take. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments. The other interesting thing is that the Republicans are actually kind of forcing Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema and any moderate Democrats from the House to go along with this stimulus package. There's a couple Democrats from the House and Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema that are maybe thinking about voting no to the stimulus package, or maybe thinking about changing this or changing that. And the Republicans are ironically forcing the Democrats to come together and vote yes on this stimulus package, or just come together more and say you have to vote yes on this package, or come together quicker on this package to vote yes. And ironically, the Republicans are forcing the Democrats to vote yes faster on this package. So think about Joe Manchin, who wants the package to be $1.5 trillion. He's saying, oh, we should pause on this package. Well, if the Republicans vote no in the Senate on this debt limit ceiling and this government default, debt limit ceiling, and government shutdown bill, that's going to force the Democrats to pass the stimulus package faster. So think about that. Ironically, with the Republicans revolting against the debt limit ceiling, it's actually going to make the Democrats pass the stimulus package faster and make Joe Manchin have to be forced to pass the stimulus package. It's ironic that the Republicans are actually going to make Joe Manchin come together with the Democrats. Think about that. It's actually making Joe Manchin come closer to the Democrats. Because if not, the government defaults. And that's the worst thing that can happen. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments because, yeah, it's getting absolutely crazy. Now, here is a Democratic leader of the Progressive Caucus, Pramila Jayapal, on the vote tomorrow in the House on the physical infrastructure bill that might fail.
And let's begin with the chair of the House Progressive Caucus, Congresswoman Pramila Jayapal of Washington State. Congresswoman, always good to see you. Thank you so much. So let's just talk about where we are right now. Yeah. Speaker Pelosi plans to bring, or had said she was going to bring, the bipartisan infrastructure plan to the floor of the House tomorrow. No, you have said that you and dozens of progressives will go vote against that bill, likely tanking it, if the $3.5 trillion spending bill does not come up first. Is it your understanding that the infrastructure bill is coming up for a vote tomorrow, and you and your fellow progressives will defeat it tomorrow? Is that what you expect will happen tomorrow?
I know we're working very hard to get agreement on the reconciliation package, and that, of course, has to be agreement across the Senate and the House, because we are not going to leave anyone behind. You know, we're not going to leave behind women who desperately need childcare. We're not going to leave behind taking on climate change and taking urgent action. We're not going to leave behind public housing. We're not going to leave behind immigrants who are essential workers and need to be acknowledged as such. And fundamentally, we're not going to leave behind healthcare in the midst of a healthcare crisis. So that's all the stuff that's in the Build Back Better Act, what we're calling the reconciliation bill. And our point is just, we're ready to vote for both. We are excited to vote for both, and we will vote for both, but we need to actually get the reconciliation bill done. That was what we said 3.5 months ago, Jake. Yeah. And so, you know, our belief is that we'll get there. We're very close, but we have to get to that reconciliation bill first.
Would it be enough if there were an agreement on the Build Back Better Act, the $3.5 trillion spending package, but not an actual vote tomorrow? Would that be enough for you and the House Progressives to vote for the infrastructure bill?
Well, the reconciliation bill does have to start in the House because it's a budget reconciliation bill. Right. But everything should be agreed upon. What we don't want to have
an agreement's
happen,
good. An agreement is good.
Well, no, but an agreement of exactly what's in there. The language needs to be worked out because...
And a commitment that everybody's going to vote for it.
And everyone's going to vote for it. And if Republicans offer, you know, amendments in a vote-a-rama, that we're not going to have Democratic senators suddenly vote with Republicans. So the idea here is, unlike many other bills, many other times that we do this, where the House passes a bill, it's not necessarily something that the Senate can do. The Senate then goes and passes their bill, and then we conference or we have back and forth. This is a pre-conferenced bill, which means everybody in the Senate and everybody in the House has to agree on every piece of it.
But Pelosi says that she's bringing the infrastructure bill, the bipartisan bill, to the floor of the House tomorrow for consideration. Are you going to vote for it or against it?
I don't believe there will be a vote. I mean, the Speaker...
You don't think there's going to be a vote tomorrow?
I mean, the Speaker is an incredibly good vote counter, and she knows exactly where her caucus stands, and we've been really clear on that.
The votes aren't there. She's not going to bring it up.
The votes aren't there. So I don't think she's going to bring it up, but I think the urgency is important. I mean, this, in some ways, the fact that this is there has finally provided the urgency for senators to engage in reconciliation, for the president to really weigh in. And, you know, ultimately, we're delivering on the president's agenda. I mean, this is the Build Back Better agenda is not some crazy agenda that just a few people support. It's actually the vast majority of the Democratic caucus. And there's a few people in the House and a couple in the Senate who aren't quite there yet. But even moderates in frontline districts all support this Build Back Better agenda.
But just to
So, wow, did you hear that? Pramila Jayapal says that she doesn't think that Nancy Pelosi is going to put the bill up for a vote tomorrow because she thinks that the bill's not going to pass, the physical infrastructure bill. So she thinks that Nancy Pelosi is going to delay the physical infrastructure bill because it's going to fail. Wow. So, and honestly, I think that would be the right move. I mean, why would you put the vote up for the physical infrastructure bill, not the stimulus package? Remember, the stimulus package is the human infrastructure bill, the social infrastructure bill, the stimulus package. Stimulus package is different than the physical infrastructure bill. The physical infrastructure bill is the roads, the bridges, the water, the infrastructure, right? That will pump billions of dollars into each state, okay, and provide millions of jobs over the course of 10 years. But it it might fail tomorrow because a lot of the Democrats are going to vote against it because they want the stimulus package to pass first. But Nancy Pelosi made this agreement like a long time ago, like over a month ago, that they would vote on it on September 27th in the House to satisfy some moderate Democrats, that they would vote on it on this day just to satisfy them as part of an earlier agreement. Now, the question is that should she satisfy them and vote on it tomorrow, but let the vote fail? Because progressive Democrats are apparently going to vote no on it because the stimulus package is not going to be voted on first. So the question is, should she let it be voted on tomorrow just to satisfy them as part of this agreement, but the vote fails? So, hey, I satisfy your agreement. Here, we'll vote on it, but it fails. Or would the smarter move be we're going to delay it a few days and let the stimulus package pass first, and then we'll vote on the physical infrastructure package when then the progressive Democrats will pass the bill in the House and both pieces will pass. Very interesting. You can see is this is not it's not a very clean cut, clear decision. If I was Speaker of the House, I'm not sure what I would do because if you don't vote on it tomorrow, you're going to get some people to say, "Oh, she went against her word. She's lying." And it's really not a clear decision because if you vote on it tomorrow, then the bill's going to fail. And then you have all these complications here. And then you also have Kirsten Sinema from the Senate that says if you don't vote on the bill tomorrow, that she's not going to vote yes for the stimulus package, which is kind of, it's not really a fair demand. And you have people making all these crazy demands all over the place that if you don't remove the SALT taxes, I'm not going to vote for the bill. If you don't add money for HSBCUs, historically black colleges, that I'm not going to vote for the bill. And you have other people saying, if you don't do this, I'm not going to vote for the bill. If you have other people saying, if you don't do that, I'm not going to vote for the bill. And you have all these people making all these different demands. And it's hard to satisfy everybody. It really is. I mean, you have 220 Democrats in the House. You have 50 Democrats in the Senate. You have Joe Manchin making all these demands. And it's really hard to make everybody happy because, again, you need all Democrats in the Senate to say yes and 220 Democrats in the House. You need 99% of them to say yes. If I was the House Speaker, I'm not sure what I would do because, honestly, I would probably put it for a vote tomorrow, let it fail, and say, okay, well, I put it for a vote. I don't even know if I would do that because then you'd probably have a lot of people upset. I don't know. Let me know what you would do. It's a tough situation because then if the vote fails, then you have a lot of separation in your caucus. I'd probably call a meeting with all the Democrats is probably what I would do. I'd probably call a meeting and just talk it out with everybody. It's probably the best solution. It's really tough. It's a really tough situation. It's not just a clean cut, clear situation. Say that 5 times fast. And then you got Democrats from the Senate demanding things to be done in the House. It's really tough.
Vast majority of the Democratic caucus, and there's a few people in the House and a couple in the Senate who aren't quite there yet. But even moderates in frontline districts all support this Build Back Better agenda.
But just to clarify, you don't think there's going to be a vote tomorrow, but either way, you're looking for an agreement on the reconciliation, not necessarily a vote first when it comes to infrastructure.
Well, it's just the logistics of it, right?
Yeah.
Everything has to be done. There has to be kind of an ironclad.
Are you guys close to that at all, an agreement?
Well, I think we're finally talking, which is which is important because that hasn't been happening for the last couple of months.
Pelosi says it's going to happen this week. Is that realistic?
I mean, we want to have it happen as soon as possible. So everybody, I know I worked every single minute of every single day for the last several weeks, for the last several days, trying to talk to people and get this done. That's our hope, is to try to get it done. But we need the Senate to engage with us if that's going to happen.
Well, let's listen to what West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin said on this show 2 weeks ago about the threat by progressives to tank the bipartisan infrastructure bill.
And if they can go home and tell people that, hey, I don't care about the roads and bridges, you don't need it. I don't care about internet service, you don't need that. I don't care about fixing water and sewer lines. If they play politics with the needs of America, I can tell you, America will recoil.
What do you say to that?
I mean, look, we need to bring down the temperature, but I would just say, I could say the same thing about anyone who votes against the reconciliation bill. If you want to go back and tell people that you don't want childcare, or you don't want housing, or you don't want to take on climate change, or you don't want to provide health care to people, I mean, that's not good either. This is the president's Democratic agenda. We will deliver on both of them, Jake. I am absolutely confident of that. But it's going to take work, and it's going to take the Senate, Joe Manchin and others, sitting down to actually negotiate. And I am ready, willing, and able to talk to anyone about anything at any time to get that done.
You have said that progressives have been team players and the big adults in the room. You've conceded a lot, you note, such as moving from $6 trillion to $3.5 trillion on the ultimate ticket item of this. Do you think the moderate Democrats have been team players and the big adults in the room?
Well, as I said, moderate Democrat is a lot of people across the caucus.
Well, the ones that have been.
Okay, I just want to be clear that there's only like 9 or 10 or
These 9 or 10,
is.
Gottheimer, Manchin, Sinema. Have they been team players?
I've been talking with Josh almost, a lot over the last week, and I think, I believe that they want to find a way through this. And I believe that we are going to get through this.
Do you think it's possible that the price tag will come down? I've heard the number $2 trillion floated as a possible endpoint.
I think we should look, first of all, as I said to the president, and I heard him say, this is a $0 bill, because it's all going to be paid for with taxes on the wealthiest corporations and the wealthiest individuals, which, by the way, makes it more popular than it was even before, and it's already very popular. But ultimately, I think it depends on what we put in there. We put our proposal out. It cost $3.5 trillion when you add everything up.
Right.
But if somebody wants to take something out, we need to hear what that is. I don't know what the alternative proposal is, so it's difficult for me to say.
Yeah, so as you hear, the bill's paid for, and it might need to be reduced a little bit, but Joe Manchin has no counter proposal, so I don't know. We'll have to see, but they're getting very, very close, and we're going to have votes this week in the Senate. So don't miss any videos at this point, because I will have new videos every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for you guys every day. And here is our special guest, Hurricane Julian, my son. What's up, guys? It's Jimmy and Julian. Yeah, you got to leave them on so you're cool. Say, I'm cool, Julian. Say, tell everybody these are your Blippy glasses.
These are my Blippy glasses. My orange Blippy glasses.
Your orange Blippy glasses.
Orange Blippy glasses.
Say, wow.
Wow, dear. Who brought them?
They're yours.
Who brought them for me?
I got them for you.
Where are they from? Where are they from?
They're from Santa Claus.
Look at me, I do funny face.
You're doing funny faces. All right, can you tell everybody we love you?
Yeah.
And say, we got a new Julian's Adventure coming soon.
We got a new Julian's Adventures coming soon.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to a really special place.
What?
Yeah, you remember where we went. We can't tell everybody because it's a surprise.
What is it?
You remember we went to that really cool place and seen all that really cool stuff?
What was it? What was it?
Yeah, we got a new Julian's Adventures coming soon.
What is it?
Yeah.
Tell me what it is.
You went there. You should know what it was.
Papa boop boop, papa boop boop, papa boop boop.
So I'll link you to Julian's Adventure, the last episode, which is
Yeah.
our family
In a
channel.
big episode.
Yeah, the big episode. And we'll have a new one coming soon. My wife's just got to put the video
really
together.
Soon.
Really soon. So thanks for watching. Say we love you.
Love you.
And so you can click here to watch our newest stimulus check video, and you can click
Bye.
over here to watch our newest Julian's Adventures. We'll have the new episode. We'll have the new adventures of Julian's Adventures coming soon here, maybe within the next day or two. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. We love you, and we'll see you soon. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.